Hey guys, welcome back. Dirk here. Today we're going to talk about the last in the series, I guess you'd call it, of the Marauder family, the comparison series. So we've done, the Dress Marauder, the Slim Midi, the Marauder H, and now we're here at the full size, full thickness Marauder. This was more the original Marauder, not the specific one, but this was the first Marauder in the Marauder lineup. And then he went with the smaller ones as he went down the line. So let's just jump right into the specs first, and then we'll do some discussions about the comparisons in size. So this is the same exact size as the Marauder H in overall dimensions. So it's 5 inches close length with an overall of 9 3/8. The blade length from the edge of the scale to the tip at 4.21 with an edge length of 3.71. This is where it differs from the Marauder H. This has a 0.25, 0.26 thick blade, whereas the Marauder H has the 0.19, 0.18 blade thickness. This particular one is in CPM 3V, as you can tell by the 3 on the blade. This one weighs in at 9.9 ounces, so it's a little heavier than the Marauder H. Overall thickness is 0.64, minus the clip, of course, and as all Medford knife and tool knives do, it runs on phosphor bronze washers. This one is a couple years old. I don't have the specific date. I'd have to look it up in my collection of boxes because it has the 2-hole pivots compared to the newer current version of the what Greg calls the 6-gun pivot. This one has custom sculpting. I believe they call this kind of the gator belly. I think when they were doing the sculpting before, they didn't really have a name, but I think they call this one the gator belly now. They kind of changed names on some of them. This also has the rounded fuller. Now he's going with more of a flat bottom fuller, which, I prefer the round fuller, but the flat bottom fuller actually does aid in thumb opening. So this one is a little tough. You can open it with your thumb, but I typically just middle finger flick it from the backside, like I do with most all my Medfords. Even this particular style of Marauder H has the rounded fuller. These are great. So this is just a tumbled blade, hollow ground, good lockup, green anodized, kind of a greenish blue anodized handle scales. And this one, even though it's on washers, has broken in and is completely fluid. The closing on this one, the action is phenomenal. Now this is not typical of all Medfords, but this particular one, and they're all a little bit different. I have some that are super smooth like this, and I have others like this Marauder H, which is not a great comparison because this blade is much thinner, so it's much lighter. Still super smooth, but doesn't have that drop shut that this one does. And Greg doesn't like the drop shut. He is much more of, this is probably more his ideal type of closing. I'm gonna guess. That's more his ideal than the drop shut. This one is actually as smooth or smoother than my Marauder that's running on bearings. But overall, great knives. This was not my first Marauder. I grabbed this one because it is the drop point blade. And all the other comparison ones I've done, the Dress, the Midi, all of those have been drop points. My very first Marauder was a Tanto blade, and I'll do a review of that one here shortly as well, just because it's a bit different. I go back and forth. I like the look of the Tonto just in general better, but this drop point line just really flows here with the Marauder. So I'm leaning and becoming more of a drop point type of guy as I've been collecting. So, but this was one of my earlier Marauders, and I just love the Marauder family. So as far as bad things, well, it's got your typical Medford stuff. The lock bar cutout is sharp, but with this sculpting, it actually doesn't feel as sharp. They didn't do anything with the actual lock bar cutout to make it any better, but because of this sculpting, it's just not as noticeable as on standard Marauders. So don't really have a complaint there. But again, this lock face that extends past the scale, again, I still just think that's a bit of an issue. I've not had a problem, but it is proud of the handle scale, as they all are at some degree. They're all a little bit different in height, it seems like. So again, I think just at this price point, that's a bit of an issue. And on some of them, not this particular one, my carbon fiber version, you catch the blade tip on your finger right here, because he tries to fit so much blade into the handle that you catch your finger. And I have actually cut my finger on my carbon fiber Marauder because of the blade tip just peeking out past, not really past, but it's a wide enough gap that your finger just kind of goes inside. But other than that, love them. Absolutely love the Marauder family. They carry great in the pocket. Again, you're almost 10 ounces here, so it is some weight, some heft. It sticks out about yay much, but you got your t-shirt over it and all that, you're fine. Not a big deal. So give you a couple of little comparison sizes here. So you've got the, Marauder full size, the Marauder H, same exact size, other than the overall thickness and the blade thickness. That's your only difference between these two. The Marauder H and all the newer Marauders do have this sculpting cutouts here, whereas on the older versions, they did not have that. The older versions have finger grooves, and some do not have finger grooves, and then you have just different sculptings that they do. The newer styles also have a little bit of a different clip, whereas the old style had just your standard popsicle clip, they call it. This one has a kind of modified popsicle clip. It's just a little bit curved and maybe a hair shorter, but basically the same. So you have your Marauder compared to your Sharpie, as everybody loves your Sharpie, to give you just a comparison. And then against your Steelcraft Field Marshal, roughly the same overall size. The Field Marshal is just a hair shorter and just different shape overall, so it gives you an idea. And then everybody knows your Chris Reeve Sebenza Large 21. So again, very similar in size, a little shorter, but much more pocket friendly, a little thinner, obviously a lot thinner, and a little bit smaller profile overall. So anyway, there is your full size, full thickness Marauder. And in the next few days, I will do the Marauder family comparison video with the dress, the midi, the slim midi, the Marauder H, and the full size. And that way we can compare them all side by side by side by side and talk about some of the differences, the pluses and minuses of each, to give you just the full Marauder lineup. So in the description below, I'll put a link to the playlist of all the Marauder family, as well as to a playlist to my Medford playlist, a link to my Medford playlist. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And you all have a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks a lot.